Okay, today we are playing a game on Rialto. We are in the Silver SR range, and we will be playing Zenyatta the entire way through. We are also on the console today, so consider yourself forewarned, and we are not going to worry about our team comp because we are in Silver, because there's not too much point worrying about it when you're in Silver. Or Bronze, either, you know, as you may imagine. So we've got to defend first. We're up on the high ground now, which is a nice place for us to be. We do have a slight tendency to go pretty far out on these ledges, like right now. And I'd rather just be right next to the corner, basically, so we can duck as soon as we drop low. We were continuing to keep our face poked out while we were at like half health as well, which is a little bit risky to do when you're playing Zenyatta. Zenyatta being a very easy boy to hit. And we haven't... I got Torbjorn. Yeah. They don't have a Widow or anything over there, which is like the main cause for concern, poking your face out that low, but... Zenyatta's an easy boy to hit, and when you're like half health, it's very easy to suddenly die. So we've started getting pushed backwards. We've retreated off the high ground now, because we don't want to be over there by our lonesome. Roadhog, however, he is perfectly fine, apparently, still being over there on his lonesome. So we are hovering kind of out in open space right now, being in the middle of the street, when we should be more where we are right now, so that we have something we can actually use as cover. Because Lord knows we've got no tanks that are gonna save us. Pretty much, like, anytime, especially as these long-range boys, what all heroes really, try to stick near cover. Even if there is actually a shield in front of you, you still want to try and play near cover, rather than just being out in open space. If we just stay close to the corner of the building, we're never in that position where we could almost die. It's of course much less, it was harder for us to shoot at the bad men, but it is also harder for the bad men to shoot at us, which is very important for us as Zenyatta. We could even, if we're at this point, we can go and, if I actually started the pen, that would have been delightful, wouldn't it? We could go and stand over near the doorway over here, and then we can use that doorway as cover, and then we can in fact see all the way down the street. So we are near something we can duck behind for safety, but we can also see the bad men. So it's the best of both worlds. So we've got Trance built up now, which is very nice. They don't really have much that we need to worry about. They do have a Genji, so we have to worry about that, but that's pretty much it, because we hope that we don't have to use Transcendence for Molten Core. That would be quite depressing. Okay, I was just wondering where Bastion was when he got hooked exactly. He was kind of under us, but we don't have a shield, so now is a very poor time to be playing Bastion when your tanks are Roadhog Diva. That being one of the quintessential bad tank combos in this game. Especially when your Roadhog's doing that. So we are pretty far forward right now. We are standing all the way up on the front ledge. The bad men are starting to push under us at this point. Genji's going to use Dragon Blade, so we're going to use Trance. We could just be back here where we are right now the entire time previously, and that would have been significantly safer. Again, particularly when we don't actually have any tanks that are likely to be making space for us. Self-preservation is a very important skill for the supports, because something like this can always happen to you. We were, of course, back where I wanted us to be standing this time when we got hooked, but when there's somebody like Roadhog on the enemy team, you want to be as far back as you can be, basically, if people aren't going to be blocking for you. Because there's no one juicier on the enemy team to a Roadhog than a Zenyatta. The goal generally on Zenyatta is to hang pretty far back. Now, you can be too far back as Zenyatta, because you can be so far back that you'll get dove on by the bad men and be too far away from your team for your team to actually be able to help you. And the further you are away from your team, the less likely you'll be able to actually get to them to use Trance. But we also don't want to be too close to the bad men, because we are a very easy to kill boy. So it's a very delicate balancing act as Zenyatta. So we've been halted out right there. Gotta be careful of Orisa when you're on high ground and there's a ledge in front of you that's like you've not got a lot of room to move back. It's very easy to get halted off of the high ground, so you've got to be pretty careful versus an Orisa on that kind of high ground, because it's really easy to get yanked up. If it's like this kind of high ground, you can go far enough back that you won't get halted off, but something like that, where it's just a hallway with an opening, you've got to be ready to move back down the hallway as soon as you see the halt coming, pretty much, and not just, like, as any long-range hero, basically, in that kind of situation. We have Harmony already on the Bastion. I could see it in the UI down there. For some reason, I felt the need to go backwards to try and figure out who we had put it on. Bastion, still, just not a terribly good hero to be playing right now when you have Diva Roadhog as your tanks. But, you know, people, they don't, you know, all that man knows, all that Bastion player knows, is that if he plays Bastion and the bad men do not play around him properly, he will kill all of the bad men. And therefore he will skyrocket in SR, because that's a very reliable way to climb. Just hope the enemy team does nothing to stop you. That's what I do all the time. So Genji's using Dragon Blade below us right now, so we've used Trance. There goes Genji. Roadhog has, of course, decided to isolate himself in here so that we couldn't get him with the Transcendence as well. We went in there to try and help him as well. It's kind of scary to do when we were about to run out of Transcendence. We knew Genji was in the room, but he ran out of Dragon Blade, so nothing too much happened. Moira's decided to use Coalescence when most of her team are dead, so, you know, that's pretty classic right there. Roadhog's doing this. It didn't really work very well. We were, like, just kind of standing in full view of him, but he was so far away and not even shooting directly at us, so it ended up not really being particularly scary, and we just got to kill him, basically. Mercy's done that thing that low SR Mercy players love to do, which is res someone in the middle of the enemy team 1v6. Don't do that. Don't do what this Mercy did. This actually ended up being even worse for the Mercy, right? Because Mercy did this, her team lost, right? I hate fucking when people do this. Mercy reses this man 1v6, so this man's just gonna die again, in all likelihood. Mercy has therefore staggered the man by at least 10 seconds. So that's already bad. But she reses this man 1v6, and then this man decides to ult 1v6 as well. So it ends up being even worse than it already would have done. So I don't want to use Transcendence for this one. It is fair enough to want to use Transcendence for the Dragon Blade. The thing is, though, even if Genji kills a couple of people with that Dragon Blade, it won't matter, because his whole team's dead at that point. And they're starting to come back now, but we have such a spawn advantage. And he was not likely to kill our entire team from that position. So I would have actually just rather saved Trance, just because Genji, even if it went well, it still wasn't likely to pay off, unless he did kill literally every single member of our team by himself, which was not terribly likely. Because we've got such a spawn advantage, we'll get back way before them. We use Trance, but we've built Trance back up again really fast. We're already back up to 90% again, and you know, there's the case to be made of, well, why even risk it, right? Especially when Dragon Blade is basically the only thing on their team we have to worry about countering with Trance, right? They don't have any other massively scary ultimates for us, so there's that case to be made as well. We do not want to poke our face out again right now, because we're really low. We wait to regenerate up a little bit of shields first. Very easy to die as Zenyatta, don't want to take any risks. Moira, however, is taking very many risks over there, and she died, which is very, very good. There's nothing worse than watching somebody do something absolutely ridiculous, and then they get away with it. Even if they're on my team, I'd rather they die for it, because dude, I don't care what team they're on, I hate watching somebody just throw themselves ass first into 12 men, and then just walk away because nobody focused them. It's awful. I'd rather see the person die, even if they're on my team. So Genji's using Dragon Blade right now. We've got Trance. Who was that behind us? Okay, so for some reason, I thought that Sombra was a Zenyatta. I don't know why. I saw her arm doing that movement and thought it was Zenyatta throwing an orb for some reason. We did take slightly too long to use Transcendence, so Soldier ended up dying. We also have strayed too far away from Diva and Moira, so they end up getting killed behind us. You have to be careful when you're using Trance to counter an alternate, because if your team doesn't actually group together, which you'd hope they were doing if you're using Transcendence, but they frequently won't, particularly if you're in low SR, you've got to be really aware and do a lot of running back and forth between the couple of men that are nearby so that you can keep them all alive with the Transcendence. Ideally, everybody just naturally clusters together because you're using Trance to counter the bad men. But you can't always rely on people doing the sensible thing, so you gotta be watching the people behind you in case they just go, well, fuck, there's danger there, dude. I gotta get back over here to safety. And then the Genji goes, sick. They left the Trance, dude. Anyway, we ended up defending the point regardless. Didn't matter, so, hey. All good. So now we have to attack Rialto, which is... isn't it? It's very, as we can see, this is pre-222. How depressing, I know. So, you know. Man, I'm so glad roll queue's in the game, dude. Some people have been complaining about it, but, like... The people that are complaining about roll queue presently that I've seen are DPS players that are extremely bad at the game, but are blaming usually the tank players. And they complain about the roll queue because they can't change the tank, which we all know they wouldn't have done if they could, right? There's no way this man who's crying about that right now, about how the tank is bad, was actually going to change to Reinhardt. There's no way. But I've seen a lot of DPS players doing that. Oh, fucking roll queue, I can't change the tank, and our tanks are fucking trash, so I guess we're gonna lose. You weren't gonna change the tank. How nice that Blizzard have put this nice feature in for us, and you have still found a way to use it to justify you being in elo hell. How delightful for you. Isn't it nice that no matter what happens, no matter what, it's never actually your fault. Disregard the fact that you could have just picked tank when you queued up. If you feared that the tank players were going to be so bad, why didn't you just pick tank on the roll queue, dude? It's because you had no interest in actually playing it, isn't it? That's right. Sorry, I have to chew out the straw man every now and then. It's the only thing that keeps me going, to be honest with you, complaining about things. I'm from England. It's all we really know how to do, is complain about things, to be honest with you. So the bad men were doing incredibly stupid things. So several of them are dead right now, which is nice, but the Bastion is over there, still alive. And the enemy team, they're employing the most heinous of all strategies. Teamwork. There's a Narissa over there with her shield in front of the Bastion. Have you ever seen anything so disgusting in your entire life? Because I don't think I have. That's the worst. You ever been fighting someone, just having a nice, honest 1v1? You know, obviously having a nice, honest 1v1 as McCree versus Mercy, and then some ne'er-do-well, some unscrupulous individual named Roadhog comes over and goes, what the fuck are you doing back here, McCree? And hooks you and kills you, so he saves the Mercy. Absolutely disgusting. Teamwork's the most underhanded trick you can possibly use in this entire game. And all video games, to be honest with you. So, there's also a Torbjorn, because why wouldn't there be? We got clapped pretty hard right there. Yeah, we've got Discord on us right now. Oh, but it fades off. We actually waited for it to fade off before we poked our face out, and then we just got clapped. Alright. I thought we must have had Discord on us because we died really quickly, but no, we just got slapped because we're playing Zen, so we're a very easy to slap boy, tragically. It is a dangerous door to peek through, because we know they've got people that can just spam into the area and hope that we walk through the doorway as they're spamming into it. Torbjorn's a very good hero at doing that. Just aim at roughly head level. Ding, 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 ding. Hey, sometimes you get the Widowmaker, right? So, gotta be careful. Be careful what corners you peek, because if they've got bad men looking straight at it, it's very easy to suddenly die right as you peek that corner again. So, maybe go find a different corner to peek sometimes. So we just Genji did that, and then it took us a couple of seconds to actually react to him doing it. We saw him, because he dashed past us, and then we went, oh fuck. So, just reacted to it a little bit late, rather than moving back faster. Abyss Maze left the game, delightful. Looks like that was our Bastion. Nice. Actually, I don't know if he was still playing Bastion. I might be being unfair right now. Whatever, somebody left, so... absolutely classic. We did just get their Widowmaker. Sick. She's going to be upset about that one. But we get to be like, fucking got him. That's one of the most vindicating feelings in the entire game, isn't it? You're playing Zenyatta and you kill the Widowmaker. Feels so good. So Genji's using Dragon Blade, so we use Trance. He is trying his absolute best to kill this Moira through Transcendence, but he cannot do that, because he was not nano boosted, so we just get to laugh at him instead. We have not moved. We really badly needed to move the Harmony Orb to Reaper right here, because he's getting clapped right now. Harmony Orb's actually not on anybody right now, which is also bad. We want to have the orb up on somebody constantly. We tried to put it on him right there, it looks like, but we put it on Moira by accident. By that point, Reaper's gotten away, so whatever, but we should have put it on him way sooner in that situation. So right here, I just saw Moira get clapped, and I'm more concerned about keeping Moira alive than Junkrat, so I'd rather move it to Moira right there after just seeing Moira get dropped into critical health, but she didn't die, so it's okay. But hierarchy of priority, the other support is almost always the highest one on the list of priorities. Not always, sometimes a DPS is more important, sometimes a tank is more important, but usually the other support is the most important person. Particularly if they're a support that can't easily heal themselves. So, we've managed to capture the first checkpoint, miraculously. You know, it's really hard to win a 5v6 in this game. Things are not exactly looking good for us. I think across all the time Overwatch has been out, and I've played it since launch, I've won and seen another team win a 5v6 maybe 4 times total. Like, it's not a lot. I can definitely count the number of times I've seen the 5v6 team win on 2 hands. So, maybe just 1 hand. It's not easy to win 5v6 in this game. It's the unfortunate thing about Overwatch, you know, is it's really hard to solo carry in this game, but it is extremely easy to solo throw. I would know, I do it all the time. So we've almost got Trance built up again. We're getting to just kind of push through the hangar, kind of for free, so that's nice. Here comes their Zenyatta. We didn't put the Discord Orb on him when that fight started, so that would have been nice to do, obviously. Little bit of an overreaction. Not a lot really happening right now. Torbjorn did do this, so, you know, not really worth using the transport just there. Moira, you know, it's one of those things that you feel like you shouldn't have to explain to people, right? Especially Moira, a woman of science. You would think that she would know. Lava's pretty fucking hot, dude. But, no, apparently not. We'll have to get the eggheads from the lab down to examine that one. I'm not 100% sure why she died. Oh god. That's the worst, when you walk through the doorway and just start getting lasered. That was always one of the most depressing things about playing Reinhardt, is you walk through the doorway and there's fucking turrets right above it, and you can't move fast. Well, you can't move at all if they're all there while you got your shield up, so you're just tied down like fucking Gulliver's Travels, like, oh god, let me out, please, and no one ever wants to shoot the fucking turrets, god damn. So you have to take the shield down to hit the turrets. It's the worst. I think we might be 4. No, we're not 5. Okay, we've got 5 people. I saw somebody left, and I thought they were on our team, but I guess not. Great. Well, I guess we got him, guys. It's looking pretty good. It's not looking so good anymore. But Hanzo just killed himself. Nice. Oh, damn, we almost got her. I was just awestruck by what Orisa was doing right there, and I was really, really rooting that we were going to get her right there, but tragically not. So even though that fight went really badly, they've actually yet to fully repel our entire team, so we're just going to come back. We got clapped by Hanzo. Such is life sometimes. Sometimes you poke your face out and a whole tree hits you in the head. You know, who hasn't had that happen to him one day, you know? Yeah, so I guess we got him, boys. Easy clap. It was very depressing, wasn't it? It got more to... Oh god. Oh no. It's because there's a crease in it right there. I see the problem. I'll worry about it later. You know what I can do instead, actually? Problem solved. Oh, fuck now. Oh, God. Oh, it just gets worse and worse. God damn. I have to fix the crease. God damn it. Fucking ironing my green screen. Alright, well, I can't think of any one thing that stood out from that game. Fuck it, we might as well see what the YouTube algorithm's gonna have for us. I pushed 0 instead of forward arrow key, so, you know. We might as well see what the YouTube algorithm's got. Let's see. I am a big fan of Mandalore Gaming, so that's all very fair. So I have, in fact, been watching Seth Teats Tack. They are funny to me, but the style of humor that this man has could very easily be offensive to many people. So watch with care, but I personally find them quite funny. But, you know, you might get a rough idea the level of humor in there. Mandalore Gaming is not offensive, though. It can't possibly be interpreted as such. Quite funny. Enjoy. Recommend. Highly. Watch with care. Only sort of recommend. If it's the kind of humor you like, you'll fucking love it. But at the same time, you could easily just be very offended. So, I can't really think of any one thing that stood out in that game other than, oh boy, Silver's depressing. I guess positioning mostly was what stood out, but that's one of the most generic things you can possibly say. It would like be it's kind of like me saying, game sense stood out the most there, definitely. You know, it's kind of one of those statements that means something, but only just barely at the same time. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. EST till midnight EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe if you would like to see more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.